after deadlines that have come and gone. Endless negotiations that seem to be going round and round in circles. A number of Brexit groups have today called on the Prime Minister, if a deal is not secured today, if a trade deal is not secured today, to walk away, to call a halt to these negotiations. You won't be hearing about this on mainstream media, guys, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss future reports, and of course you can support my work by clicking the join button to become a supporter as I bring you all the very latest on this. As Brexit Facts for EU, and a big shout out to them, they drew my attention to this story, as they have tweeted, major Brexit groups call for deal or walk Prime Minister. Boris Johnson strongly urged to walk away if EU doesn't offer a normal trade deal today, which it won't. And of course, you can understand the frustration of Brexiteers. Deadlines have been set, they've come, they've gone. We keep getting statements talking about the fisheries, talking about the so-called level playing field EU trap, and yet the UK still hasn't walked away and secured a clean break from the EU. The end of the transition period, of course, fast approaches at the end of this year. So let's get into what these Brexit groups, who they are and what they're calling for. Brexit groups call for deal or walk, please, Prime Minister. Boris Johnson strongly urged to walk away from EU if EU doesn't offer a normal trade deal today. This is part 2 of the big Brexit initiative, a strong message from Brexit groups, key individuals and voters. And of course, it's these voters, it shouldn't be forgotten, that put Boris Johnson back into number 10, delivering that big pro-Brexit Conservative majority. And as Brexit Facts for EU report, today as the 27 leaders of EU countries meet via video, one item missing from the agenda, Brexit Facts for EU report, is the UK-EU trade talks, which were supposed to have been concluded by now several times over. And I know in the comments, let me know what you think about all this, guys, but I know in the comments there's real frustration amongst Brexiteers that the UK still hasn't just drawn a line under this, walked away and gone no deal. As Brexit Facts for EU reported on Tuesday, the Prime Minister's 3 deadlines for trade talks to be completed have all been missed. 30th of June, 31st of July and the 15th of October. And those of you that watch this channel regularly will know that really, for me, that 15th of October deadline, Boris Johnson was very, very clear there. He said that he didn't think a deal could be done if it was not agreed by them, that the UK would move on, that the UK would assume no deal, WTO, and that has not happened. Brexit Facts for EU picking up on these deadline misses. And they go on to say that following the brief hiatus after 15th of October, it was then said the talks would continue until early November, with approval to be sought at the EU 27's meeting today. However, today, with no basis of a deal in sight, the talk in Brussels is now of a draft deal being in place in time of the next EU Council Summit on the 10th or 11th of December, just 3 weeks before the UK exit the transition period. And I've said it before, as soon as that 15th of October deadline was passed, I could see how this would go on into December. And as a result, Brexit Facts for EU.org has stepped up and has coordinated a combined letter to the Prime Minister. This letter is being sent to him today by the major Brexit campaigning groups, countersigned by a large number of significant individuals, and they reproduce it below. And it reads, "Dear Prime Minister, important message to you from major Brexit organisations reflecting the views of millions of voters. Deal or walk. Prime Minister, it took the EU more than 3 years and 8 months after the British people voted to leave the European Union before the EU was ready to even start talking about a trade deal. In hindsight, they say, this should have told us everything we all needed to know. 3 trade deadlines have now passed. 30th of June, 31st of July, 15th of October. This Thursday, 19th of November, the EU 27 leaders are meeting, and it was hoped a deal would be ready to be discussed. Sadly, they write, the EU remains intransigent on fundamental matters which are entirely normal when dealing with an independent and sovereign country, and the UK-EU trade deal was not even on the agenda at its meeting. In light of the EU's behaviour," the letter goes on to state, "the only reasonable and practical action is to call a halt. The UK cannot be trapped in negotiations where the other party's priorities are not trade, but political ideology and the desire to see a departing country be damaged." And of course, I highlighted on this channel yesterday, former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott making clear he believes the EU wants to punish the UK for having the temerity to leave. Back to the letter. "The UK's economic interests, jobs and freedoms must now come first," they write. "The UK's negotiating team, led by Lord Frost, has been immensely patient and its efforts have been valiant, but enough is enough. No country in the world could argue to the EU's continuing demands. No country in the world could agree to the EU's continuing demands. It is not even remotely possible to meet halfway. We voted to leave and to take back control. Prime Minister, it's time to take our leave. This letter is being sent to you by the Big Brexit Initiative, the grouping of major Brexit organisations, together with many key individuals, combined behind one message to government. We very much hope you will act on it now. Yours sincerely, the Big Brexit Initiative of the major Brexit campaigning organisations. Now, just to give you the names of those organisations who have signed the Big Brexit Initiative, it's brexitfacts4eu.org, Brexit Watch, the Bruges Group, Get Britain Out, Global Britain, Labour Leave, Green Leaves, Scientists for Britain, Scots for Leave, the Time Party, Think Scotland, and Veterans for Britain. The above letter forms the phase 2 of the Big Brexit Initiative, and I reported on phase 1 of what the Big Brexit Initiative did, which was a letter to the Prime Minister and MPs urging that the withdrawal agreement and the political declaration be rescinded and voided. And they report, Brexit Facts for You report, that the messaging for phase 1 was seen by over 250,000 times, and a great many people sent letters and emails to their MPs. They say, today we need the support of ordinary voters once again for this very important new letter. So that's what Big Brexit Initiative is doing, calling for a halt to what's going on now, time to walk away. Let's see what Boris Johnson and the government do. What we do know from the Times is that the EU leaders now are getting twitchy. The Times reporting that Europe's leaders will demand today that the European Commission publish no-deal plans amid fears that Brexit negotiations are dragging on without businesses knowing what they need to prepare for in the worst scenario. Several EU governments, the Times report, are growing frustrated that deadlines for trade, security and fishing talks are slipping, leaving little time to get ready if the negotiations fail to reach an agreement. And Times go on to say that the Netherlands, France, Belgium and other frontline countries are concerned that businesses and fishing communities will be hit by economic disruption without EU contingency measures to cushion the blow of no deal. So you've certainly got a sense of panic now on the EU side. A senior EU diplomat quoted as saying, we must now come up with contingency measures. January the 1st is getting close. We need a safety net. Of course, this sends out a political signal, but it's high time to prepare people and businesses in case we cannot fix an agreement in time. Concluding by saying, I know member states will ask to get contingency measures out in the open. So let's see what the British government do. Let's see what Boris Johnson does now. We've seen deadlines come and go on this. The end of the transition period is now fast approaching. Not very long to go at all. Will Boris Johnson, will Lord Frost walk away from negotiations? Will it be no deal? Certainly the Big Brexit Initiative, Brexit Facts for EU and many others now calling for the Prime Minister to walk away today. Let's see what happens. But guys, if you've enjoyed this report, if you found it helpful and informative, please give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and the bell. And if you want to support my work, do consider hitting the join button to become a supporter of Real News. And of course, as ever, thank you so much for watching.